Hello, it's me, Liberty. And forgive the bedhead. Just woke up out of bed, and I feel compelled to speak to myself and to give a message today. I like Brittany. Oops, I did it again. I told myself I was going to do the whole celibacy thing, and I was going to focus on myself, and I did not. And I got a major lesson yet again. But it comes with a message now that I can share with other people since I've gotten myself to a healthy place with it. So now I can finally share. I have learned I've learned a lot. I'm actually really proud of the growth that I've been able to do. I think the biggest thing for me was to see my growth in real time. Like, it didn't result in a favorable outcome, if that's what you want to call a successful relationship. But like I said, I learned a lot, and I'm proud of my growth. Really, the main thing that I learned of this one was to trust my gut intuition at the very beginning. For me, when I know I've been on this path of the avoidant or the dismissive avoidant attachment style for a long time now, and I do believe that I've gotten to a very secure place, except when I am dealing with people that are on the avoidant spectrum. So I know that about myself now. And I know that at the very, very beginning stages, my body starts to give me clues. I start to get anxiety. I start to worry. I start to like literally obsess over this person. Like, why aren't they contacting me? Why aren't they trying to spend time with me? Why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? And I have learned that that is my trigger, that clues me in that person, that they have those avoidant tendencies, and I need to check my own anxious side of my dismissive avoidance, because I'm triggered into almost reactive abuse. And that's what I'm mostly proud of this time is I'm not leading into the reactive abuse. I am noticing I am triggered. Oh my God, like something serious is going on, and I'm learning to calmly respond. I'm still not getting my needs met. I'm still not being met with, oh yeah, like you're right, like let me work on this. It's, I'm gonna not talk to you for days at a time, or, it ultimately led to the ending of the relationship. But for me, I was able to stand firm, because for the longest time, when I did trust that intuition at the beginning, I wasn't sure, because I was like, this is just a thesis that this person is an avoidant or a psychopath, or, whatever label I have, narcissist, or whatever label I had for the feelings that I was feeling, that I was putting onto the other person, to label it as something so that I could package it neatly and, try to move on without sitting in that victimhood, because that's what I do to myself. I will sit there and replay over and over and over again how they hurt me, without realizing I'm just putting myself in victim energy every time I'm sitting there thinking about what they did to me, instead of standing in, my thesis was right. They were a hurtful person to me. They did not want to connect with me. They did not want to have a healthy attachment. So instead of I needed to do it again, because I needed those data points, to be honest, because I had beaten myself up for years thinking that I may have made the wrong decision because I didn't have enough data points, that I had just labeled that person, and maybe I was wrong. Maybe they maybe, who knows, like I have thought it through like 1,000 scenarios. Like, my brain doesn't ever stop. And that's what I noticed, was that I'm just sitting there spinning in victim mentality, playing like these 2,000 different scenarios that it could have been, instead of sitting in the knowing of that hurt me. That can't continue. And that was the biggest realization over this whole cycle, was that those feelings at the beginning, whatever it is, it's going to be hurtful for me. And I just need to understand that it may not make them a bad person. Like, they may be a really good person and they just may be avoidant and they cannot connect emotionally to the level that I need for a partner. And, it may be well and good for somebody that doesn't have as much trauma or doesn't have as much emotional depth. But I am, highly sensitive. I am a trauma llama. So I need someone that can connect to me on a very, very deep level. And so I know at the very beginning, when my alarm bells start going off, that clues me in that this person is not a healed person. And if they are not on a growth path, I'm going to be hurt. So overall, having done it again, I needed to do that. Like, I needed that experience because I needed those data points, and I needed to know that I could sit and be utterly disrespected, utterly gutted, and still remain calm, still remain poised, and still share, my feelings, and have an open heart, while being completely gutted and not reacting in an abusive way. Just, crying or being like, wow, this hurts, this sucks. And ultimately I had to end it. So yeah, overall, my advice for myself was that if it starts out painful, it's only going to get more painful. If it's not meeting my needs early on, it will never meet my needs. Because, I hate to say like love bombing, but like ultimately the start of your any relationship is like, you put on your best foot. Like, I don't put on my best foot forward. But usually people will put on their best foot forward and be like, hey, like, these are like the best traits that I have. And so like, if it's bad that early on, it's only going to get worse. And it's going to hurt bad. So I listen to myself, and that pain when it comes up, and instead of reacting to the other person, I listen to what that pain is telling me. And I notice that I can't sit in that victim mentality and just replay over and over again how they hurt me and how I want it to be different. When that person will never change. They won't see me. Some people can't see us. Some people don't want to see us. Some people are, I'm pretty sure like that one might have been in love with his ex. Because I had a dream at the very beginning of the relationship, to be real honest, where the ex literally came to me and said that she was going to take him out on a date. And I was just sitting there like, okay, I don't like this, but like, I'm polyamorous and like, you're coming to me woman to woman. So like, okay, that was really weird. And I had no idea who this, like, I had no idea he even had an ex, to be honest, because I was in that la-di-da, I'm in love. And so when I brought up the dream and then I dreamt about her again, and then I see a picture of her and it was the girl, and I was like, and I'm like, okay, yeah, all right, I'm a little psychic. All right. But ultimately, just the level of, it doesn't matter like why the person can't connect to us, I guess was the whole tangent I just went on. It doesn't matter why they can't connect to us. We just need to understand that some people can't connect to us. That was a book that I read, I don't even know now, a couple years ago. It said there are two different types of styles of people connect, like people either connect in relationships or they seek control. So you either connect or you control. And so some people just cannot connect. And so I'm sitting in that, instead of sitting in the pain of what they did to me. I'm sitting in that, like the Queen of Swords energy of like just cutting it off. Like, okay, like they can't connect to me. They are hurting me. Cut it off. And not being a victim because I cut somebody off, and not sitting there telling myself, well, maybe I was wrong, and maybe not giving so much benefit of the doubt, and having that my kicked puppy just go back and back and back and back and back until she just has no face left from being kicked so much in the face. Like I don't need to sit in that energy so much anymore to fully believe that the person that I'm interacting with just can't connect with me for whatever reason. And I don't need to analyze them because they're not asking me for help. They're not coming to me for coaching. They were coming to me because, you know, ew. They wanted to touch me. But, yeah, so, yeah, I'm really proud of myself. You know, I noticed when I was in the fight or flight response. I noticed when I was in the freeze response, even though it took me a while to sit with those data points and to really let them sink in. But overall, yeah, I'm proud, and I'm not going to sit in that victim energy. I'm going to sit in the knowing of it was hurtful to me, and like, he may be a really good person and, you know, may make somebody else really happy. But for me, it hurt. And I felt disrespected. And I won't put myself through that anymore. So, because I don't have to. And being alone is much better than being hurt every day. So, yeah, I think that's all I got for right now. So, I'm just now in the beginning stages of processing this stuff, so I'm sure more will come. Love y'all. Bye.